We're just about set and ready for our national anthem prior to Game 1 of the Best of 7 East Division semifinal between the Saskatoon Berries and the Moose Jaw Miller Express. All right. Fabulous second season for the Saskatoon Berries. They are the East Division first place finishers overall. In the WCBL, they won a WCBL single season record 46 games, and yet it really doesn't matter now. Those accomplishments do something for you. They get you into preferred positions, certainly having a home field advantage for every round of the playoffs, but they're even Steven with the team they're going to play tonight, the Moose Jaw Miller Express, in Game 1 of the Best of 3 East Division semifinal series. Good evening, Les Lazaruk with you from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The Berries had a 46-9 record during the regular season. They won their last 2 games. They were 8-2 in their last 10. Here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, 25-3, and they won 7 of 8 head-to-head meetings with Moose Jaw. The Miller Express were 4th in the East Division with a 27-29 record. They won their last 5 games, though, and were 7-3 in their final 10. Moose Jaw finished up 15-13 on the road. And again, something to remember, last year, Moose Jaw, with a lot of these same players in their starting lineup, defeated the Berries in 3 games in the East Division final. This will not be easy for Saskatoon, the first versus 4th matchup in the opening round of the WCBL playoffs. Your umpires for tonight, behind the plate is the crew chief Phil McGee. At first base is Scott Mostaway, and the third base umpire is Matt Schul. Defensively for the Saskatoon Berries, in the outfield from right to left, it's Ethan Murdoch in right field. Carter Beck is in center. And in left field, Jalen Freeman. Around the infield from left to right, Mason Rell is the third baseman. Nathan Houston is the shortstop. ABM Medina is at second base. And first baseman, Ethan Menard. Balin Sorensen is the catcher. And the starting pitcher tonight is Calvin Junick, who is a latecomer to the team out of Sebastian, Florida, coming off a year at the Coastal Carolina University, where Calvin Junick was coming off his freshman year. Junick made 2 starts for the Berries late in the season, won both of those starts, a 2.00 earned run average. He pitched 9 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs both earned, struck out 4, and walked 1. Calvin Junick, a right-handed pitcher for the Berries. He is 6'4", 210 pounds. And Junick will face a very good Moose Jaw lineup. The Miller Express, among the top 5 in most of the major offensive categories as a team, hitting .302 as a team, 4th best, an .842 OPS, on-base percentage plus slugging percentage, which was 3rd best, 49 home runs, which was 5th in the league. They also stole 93 bases, which was 7th. And the first 3 batters will be Thomas Soto, the shortstop, William Edwards, the left fielder, and Austin Gurney, the first baseman, to face Calvin Junick. So here we go. The playoffs are set to begin in the WCBL. Thomas Soto steps into the left-hand batter's box. Calvin Junick kicks and delivers, and at 7 o'clock, Soto pitched the first pitch into left field for a base hit. And that's got the Moose Jaw bench up and going right away. It's the way to start from a Moose Jaw perspective. Here comes William Edwards, their left fielder. Edwards hit .364 during the regular season, led the league in at-bats, and led the league in hits. 86 hits in 236 at-bats, 9 home runs, 66 RBI. That was tops in the league as well, that 66 RBI. First pitch from Junick down low, ball 1. A lot of chatter, a lot of boisterous chatter out of the third base Moose Jaw dugout. And why not? This is the playoffs. Everybody starts even. High pitch all the way to the backstop. Soto will head over to second base on the wild pitch. 2-0 the count on William Edwards. And Austin Gurney, the first baseman, is on deck. Edwards was 9th in the league with that .364 average. And tied for second in runs scored with 60. Soto led the league in runs scored with 70. There's a pitch that's in the dirt, blocked by Sorensen, and Junick has fallen behind 3-0 on William Edwards. So a good start so far for Moose Jaw. Leadoff man gets on, advances to second on a wild pitch, a 3-0 count upcoming to the number 2 hitter, William Edwards. And that is a called strike by home plate umpire Phil McGee. 3-1 the count. Carter Beck, the center fielder, is on the left field side of second base. Edwards hits a fly ball towards right field. Falling. Murdoch can't make the catch in foul territory. That ball was slicing from fair territory into foul territory about 5 feet. Murdoch came a long way from right center field and could not come up with the catch. So the count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes. A full count to William Edwards. Murdoch got a glove on it, but when he hit the deck, the ball jarred loose. Soto at second. Edwards with a second life. A 3-2 count. Junick kicks and delivers. This will be lined into right field. It will fall in front of the right fielder. Soto will make his way to third and stop there, be held by the third base coach. Soto to third base. Edwards with a single to right field. First and third with nobody out, and it'll be Austin Gurney, who was second in the league in RBI with 61. Gurney hit .364 during the season. He was 8th in the league. 82 hits and 225 at-bats. Third in the league at hits in 82. Second in at-bats with 225. And first pitch swinging, he fouls it, hooks it way foul down the right field side, strike 1. Third baseman Eduardo Sainz on deck. Soto, Edwards, and Gurney, as difficult the first 3 batters as you'll see in the league. And already 2 of them have base hits. And there's a runner in scoring position 90 feet from home plate. Breaking pitch down low, 1-1. Good crowd on hand here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. But an hour and a half before game time, I was told there was around 1,800 sold. Who knows what the walk-up was like. On the ground into right field. That'll get through for a base hit. Soto will score. Edwards turns second. Ethan Murdoch with the throw all the way into third, but not in time. Edwards slides in, and Moose Jaw's gone out in front 1-0. 3 consecutive singles to start the game. William Edwards to third base. Austin Gurney to first. And Joe Carnahan is going to come out of the Saskatoon first base dugout and have a little settle down session with pitcher Calvin Junick as well as the rest of the team. Eduardo Saenz, the third baseman, is coming up. Saenz hitting .284 on the season, 55 hits and 194 at-bats. 8 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Tied for second in the league during the regular season in sacrifice flies with 7. A position to possibly do that if he hits a fly ball that's caught, with William Edwards out of New South Wales on third base. Eduardo Saenz out of Laredo, Texas, coming off his junior year at Texas A&M International, right-hand hitter. Junick shaking off Saenz from catcher Balin Sorensen. First pitch is in for a strike. Mentioned Junick from Sebastian, Florida, attending Coastal Carolina University in Conway, South Carolina. 1 strike pitch coming. That's in there for strike 2 on Saenz. Tanner DeGrazia, the right fielder, on deck. Moose Jaw with 3 singles to start the ball game and a run scored. Nobody out. 2 strikes on Eduardo Saenz, the third baseman. Calvin Junick. Going on the pitch is Austin Gurney, but it's a called strike 3. Saenz strikes out. Gurney steals second without drawing a throw. There's one away here in the top of the first inning. It'll be Tanner DeGrazia, the right fielder. DeGrazia led the WCBL in a painful category. He was hit by a pitch 22 times in the regular season. DeGrazia hit .332 otherwise, which is still pretty fair average. Runners at second and third. First pitch to him is up high, ball 1. DeGrazia had 67 hits and 202 at-bats. And the Rochester, New York product had 6 home runs and 37 runs batted in, coming off his junior year at Sonoma College. Calvin Junick's 1-0 pitch is low and away, ball 2. 2-0 to DeGrazia. Catcher Andy Rivas on deck. She's a nice night for baseball. Don't know what we're going to see the rest of the week weather-wise, both here and in Moose Jaw, as DeGrazia fouls that one off, and it'll be out of play down the right field side towards the batting cage. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Partly cloudy skies in Saskatoon at game time, 24 degrees Celsius, and a northwest breeze, 7 kilometers an hour, so wind really not a factor here at the ballpark. 2-1 pitch, and slap foul down the third baseline. 2 balls and 2 strikes on DeGrazia. Tanner DeGrazia, 6'2", 210-pound right-handed hitter. Calvin Junick trying to get out of the jam. 2-2 pitch. It's popped up in the air. Abiam Medina under it on the edge of the outfield grass. Makes the catch. And there's 2 away. So now Andy Rivas, the catcher, coming up. Rivas, a late addition to the Moose Jaw team. Played just 18 games out of 56 in the regular season for Moose Jaw. Rivas from Bronx, New York, coming off his senior year at Keystone College. Hit .295 in his 18 games, 18 hits and 61 at-bats. Calvin Junick delivers to the right-hand hitter. Inside, ball 1. Rivas had 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in, playing in just under a third of the games. DH Robert Estrada, another latecomer to the team, is on deck in the number 7 hole. This one hit in the air. Again, a pop-up in behind first base. Coming on is Ethan Murdoch. He'll make the catch. And after giving up 3 singles to start the game and allowing a run, Calvin Jinnick settles down and gets the next 3 hitters out. So a run for Moose Jaw in the top of the first inning on 3 hits, no Berries errors, 2 runners left on base. After a half an inning, it's Moose Jaw 1 and Saskatoon coming to bat as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the first inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Moose Jaw Miller Express jumping out ahead 1-0, and they send out their workhorse. Rubber-armed Weston Walls will be their starting pitcher tonight. First time we see Walls in this ballpark this season. But that's not to say he hasn't been pitching a lot. In fact, he has. For Weston Walls, this will be, he made 16 appearances during the regular season and 13 starts, which led the league in that department. He had 1 complete game, 4 wins, 5 losses, a 6.22 earned run average. Threw a league-high 72 in the 3rd innings. He allowed 72 hits, 50 runs, all earned, struck out 89, which was first in the league, and walked 33. Weston Walls from Terrell, Texas, coming off his senior year at Incarnate Ward, 6'5", 220-pound right-hander. And he'll face center fielder Carter Beck, first baseman Ethan Menard, and second baseman Abia Medina here in the bottom of the first inning. Weston Walls with a couple of warm-up tosses yet to go before we get ready for action in the bottom of the first inning. We will welcome you tuning in on FloCollege tonight, wherever you may happen to be. Hi to all the parents and family members of these ball players. Sure enjoy bringing you these games. Second year we've had a chance to do this with the Saskatoon Berries here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Here in Canada, here in Saskatchewan especially, they say to you, what do you know about baseball? You're a hockey guy. I do the play-by-play of the Saskatoon Blades of the Western Hockey League. I like to tell people I was a much better right-handed baseball pitcher as a kid than I was a hockey goaltender. So hence, this is probably more my love than anything else. As there's a breaking pitch from Walls to Carter Beck for a strike. Plus a way back when in 1994, as that pitch is down and in to Beck, 1 ball, 1 strike. When the Winnipeg Goldeyes, my hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba, when the Goldeyes came back to be in the Northern League, short season independent AA, myself and Peter Young, former CFL on CTV play-by-play guy, we were the 2 guys that did the broadcast for the Goldeyes in '94 before I moved to Saskatoon. 2-1 pitch coming to Beck, fastball on the inside corner, and it's strike 2, 2-2. Beck hit .385 during the regular season. 65 hits and 169 at-bats, 9 home runs, 43 runs batted in, swings and misses, strike 3. So it brings up Ethan Menard. Menard was third in the league in average during the regular season for the Berries, hitting .392 with 62 hits and 158 at-bats, played in just 35 of 55 games. Late start to the year, his college team at the University of Texas at Tyler got their way into the College World Series, which meant he was delayed a few weeks getting here. A 1-0 pitch from Walls. Swing and foul back to the screen, 1-1. Ethan sat out the last few games of the Berries regular season, nursing a leg injury. His last appearance was on August 1st in Regina. Pitched down low on a breaking ball, 2-1. Menard from Opelousas, Louisiana, and he's finished his senior year of college eligibility at the University of Texas at Tyler. And the 2-1 pitch breaking ball hits him. So Menard reaches the painful way. He got hit 6 times during the regular season. And now A.B. Medina from Ponce, Puerto Rico comes to the bat. Medina hitting .360 during the regular season, 62 hits and 172 at-bats. Had 3 home runs and 41 RBIs, left-handed hitter. Third baseman creeping in at the corner, Eduardo Sainz. Foul tip, strike 1. Defensively for Moose Jaw in the outfield, Tanner DeGrazia is in right field, Pacey Phillips in center, and the left fielder is William Edwards. Around the infield, we'll get to that, as Medina fouls that off down the third base side, and one hops into the amongst the fans. So quickly 0-2, Medina behind Walls. Eduardo Sainz at third base, the shortstop's Thomas Soto, second baseman Ben Wallachek, the first baseman Austin Gurney. Andy Rivas is the catcher, and Weston Walls, the pitch right back up the middle off his foot into center field. Menard will hold up. Now it gets past the center fielder Phillips. Menard into third, and now being held up as they throw the ball back to second base. Medina reaches second. A base hit, and then an error on the center fielder Pacey Phillips, allowing both Menard and A.B. Medina to advance a base. So runners at second and third with one away. Phillips fell awkwardly, and it looked like he may have hurt an ankle, twisted an ankle, but he's out there in center field walking it off and has waved off anybody to come help him, so he knows better than anybody else. Mason Rell, the third baseman. He was the guy that gave the Berries the WCBL record for wins in a season. He fouls the first pitch off down the right field side, strike 1. A wild and crazy game back on Sunday afternoon. Rell with a grand slam home run in the bottom of the 10th inning that gave the Berries a 14-10 victory. Prior to that, for the product of West Bend, Wisconsin, it wasn't a very good day. He was 0 for 5 and had a couple of errors at third base. But all was forgiven as he takes a strike from Weston Walls. All forgiven with that grand slam home run that recorded win number 45. Breaking the record of Sylvan Lake, the Gulls, last year that won 44 games in 56 outings. 2-strike pitch upcoming to Rell. Runners on second and third. Rell fouls it off towards the Moose Jaw third base dugout. 2 strikes, the count remains. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck. Berries as a team hit .318 during the regular season, which was best in the league. So was the OPS at .893. They hit 67 home runs, top dog in the league. And oh yeah, they also stole 152 bases, which was, you guessed it, first in the WCBL. 0-2 pitch breaking ball is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rell hit .335 in the regular season, 57 hits and 170 at-bats, 4 home runs and 39 runs batted in. He's got a couple of ducks on the pond here in the bottom of the first inning. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. hits it on the ground towards the third baseman. Signs, only play is to first. It's a high throw, and he is safe. Gurney tried the swipe tag as Rell went by and missed. Into scores Ethan Menard. The game is tied up at 1-1. Medina holds his ground there, and we're going to call that an error on the third baseman. Eduardo Signs on the throw. So a couple of errors here by Moose Jaw in the bottom of the first, contributing to the Berries tying this game up at 1-1. So now Nathan Houston, the shortstop. Medina at second. Houston on the ground towards the shortstop, Soto. Flip to second for one, and over to first in time. Wallachek's throw just nips Houston at the bag. A double play ball, 6-4-3 to retire the side. But the Saskatoon Berries come back with a run in the bottom of the first inning on one hit. There were two Moose Jaw Miller Express errors and one runner left on base. After an inning, it is Saskatoon 1, Moose Jaw 1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Nope. That's fine. Yep. Oh, really? Back for the top of the second inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Moose Jaw Miller Express and the Saskatoon Berries each scoring a run in the first inning. The Miller Express will send up the bottom third of their order for the first time against Calvin Junick. DH Robert Estrada. First up, then center fielder Pacey Phillips and second baseman Ben Wallachek. Calvin Junick is going to be going to the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley this coming school year, as his first pitch to Estrada down low, ball one. Junick will unofficially throw his 22nd pitch of the ball game, and it's in there for a strike on the fastball, 1-1. Junick ready to go again. 1-1 pitch, Estrada line drive. Medina just misses catching that liner, and it's into right field. A base hit, the fourth of the night already for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, and a leadoff single for Robert Estrada. So now Pacey Phillips coming up. Center fielder in the number 8 spot is from Kerrobert, Saskatchewan. About an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes to the west of Saskatoon on Highway 51. Coming off his freshman year at Bismarck State. First pitch foul back onto the screen, strike one. Estrada at first stole 6 bases in 8 attempts, playing in just 19 regular season games, so he is definitely a threat to steal. Senior from Keystone College. Junick steps off the rubber, gets time. Pacey Phillips, a left-handed hitter. He hit .316 in his time with the Miller Express. Fouls that back to the screen. He's behind 0-2. Phillips played in 23 games, was 18 for 57 with a home run and 7 runs batted in. center fielder, so you know he's got some wheels for a guy who's listed at 5'9" and 180 pounds. Covers a lot of ground out there. He gets this one on the ground up the middle and through past Houston into center. And first and second, stopping at second base is Robert Estrada. So the first two men are on for Moose Jaw here in the second inning, just as they were in the first. And Ben Wallachek would like to do similar to what the Miller Express did in the first inning, and that's get a third straight single and maybe drive in a run. Put Moose Jaw back out in front. Ben Wallachek, the second baseman. Been a clutch hitter for them all season long, hitting .317 out of the 9th spot in the order. Ethan Menard, the first baseman, in on the infield grass. Mason Rell, the third baseman, is in there as well as Wallachek drops down a bunt. Rell with the ball throws on to first in time to get the out, but a well-placed sacrifice bunt by Ben Wallachek, putting Estrada at third and Phillips up to second. Two men in scoring position for Thomas Soto, who last inning led off the game around 7 o'clock with a first pitch single and came around eventually to score the opening run. Soto hit .343 during the regular season, 72 hits and 210 at-bats, a couple of home runs and 36 runs batted in. He'll line it out to left field again. 2 runs are going to come in to score. As hitting it now is Carter Beck, thrown in towards second base, and Soto with a 2 RBI single makes it 3-1 for the Miller Express. And they are jacked up again about being able to get to Thomas Junick, or Calvin Junick, I should say. And I see Rudy Gonzalez making his way down to the bullpen for the Berries, so we're going to get some action. That's actually Jackson Hodgson who's going to be catching. And starting to throw is Jacob Spencer. William Edwards up high, ball 1. One away here in the top of the second inning, and Moose Jaws jump back out in front 3-1. Miller Express have 6 hits in the first 10 batters. Down low, blocked. Soto heading for second, but Sorensen doesn't have a play. There'll be a wild pitch on Calvin Junick, and ball 2 to William Edwards, who singled back in the first inning. Edwards finished the year on an 11-game hitting streak. So if you want to tack on playoffs to regular season, that's 12, thanks to that first inning single. 2-0 pitch at the knees on the inside corner, strike 1 with a fastball. Austin Gurney, the first baseman, on deck. Edwards had a home run and 17 RBI during the 11-game hitting streak to close out the season. And was 21 for 47 as that pitch is a ball. 3-1. Junick with a 3-1 count in front of him. Kicks and delivers. Down low, ball 4, and it's a walk. And now Joe Carnahan's going to make the stroll out to the pitcher's mound with Jacob Spencer warming up down the right field line. 1 away, 2 men on, and Austin Gurney, the first baseman, coming to the plate. And Carnahan taking a deliberately slow walk, and he's made the call. Jacob Spencer's going to come on right now. So that's the end of the line for Calvin Junick. An inning and a third, he allows 6 hits. Given up 3 runs and is still responsible for the 2 men on base. William Edwards at first and Thomas Soto at second. A strikeout and a walk for Junick as he faces 11 batters only. And unofficially, through 32 pitches. So Jacob Spencer is into the ball game. Spencer, a newcomer to the team as well as Junik was. Jacob Spencer pitched in 4 games, all in relief. Pitched 7 innings, didn't allow a hit or a run, struck out 6 and walked 1. Spencer's last outing was back on July 30th at home against Weyburn, a 5-4 Berries win when he went 3 innings, striking out 3, and with the exception of 1 error behind him, it was a pretty close to perfect 3 innings of work. Jacob Spencer's a big boy. From Centerville, Michigan, 6'4", 200 pounds, coming off his senior year at Indiana State University, which means he is a teammate of Carter Beck and Mason Rell and Zach Laird, who's in the bullpen. Here comes Austin Gurney, the first man to face him. Gurney singled and drove in Thomas Soto with the first run for Moose Jaw back in the top of the first inning. Left-handed hitter. Would call Gurney a professional hitter. He approaches with such professionalism and confidence. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. Strike 1. Spencer set to deliver. A 1-strike pitch to Gurney with Soto dancing around a second. Gurney hits this one on a line into left center field. Soto's around third. He's heading for home. Beck throws it back into the infield as it's now 4-1 for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. William Edwards holds up at second base. 2 RBI for Gurney. He's 2 for 2 on the day. It'll bring up Eduardo Sainz. This Moose Jaw team played very, very well. They hit very well. Their key thing is going to be, do they get the pitching? Their numbers pitching-wise, not that great in the regular season. But again, none of that matters, as the first pitch to Sainz is on the outside corner, strike 1, and Sainz doesn't like it. He didn't like the strike 3 call on him the last time up in the first inning from home plate umpire Phil McGee, and he didn't like that one. Jacob Spencer ready to deliver. Bounced in, blocked by Balin Sorensen. Good job, 1-1. Sainz had hits in 6 of his last 7 games. 2 home runs and 10 RBIs while going 7 for 26. 269 average. It's nice to have a calculator on the laptop. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 away. Sainz fouls that one off over top of the first base bleachers. And out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tanner DeGrazia, the right fielder, on deck. Sainz, 6'3", 225-pound third baseman. Back into the right-hand batter's box. Spencer ahead, 1-2 in the count. Just low, 2-2. The umpires behind home plate thought it was strike 3. They don't count as much as they think they do. Spencer ready to deliver a 2-2 pitch to Sainz. Breaking pitch, hit on the ground, right to Nathan Houston. Flip to second, Benita for 1, on to first, double play. Just like the Miller Express did to finish off the bottom of the first inning, the Berries do it in the top of the second. But not before Moose Jaw scored 3 runs on 4 hits. There were no Berries errors and 1 runner left on base. After an inning and a half, it's the Moose Jaw Miller Express 4, the Saskatoon Berries 1, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Hang on. Mm-hmm. Bottom of the second inning coming your way from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Moose Jaw Miller Express with a 4-1 lead on the Saskatoon Berries in Game 1 of the best of 3 East Division semifinal. Berries will send up Ethan Murdoch, the right fielder, DH Corey Waters, and Balin Sorensen to face Weston Walls. As they toss it down to second, and we'll get the throw around, and we'll be ready to go here. Ethan Murdoch will be first up. Murdoch, .325 in the regular season. Swift Current product who attended Marshall University, coming off his senior year there. 63 hits and 194 at-bats, 10 home runs, 53 RBI. He was 4th in the RBI department in the league. First pitch from Weston Walls, up high, ball 1. Calvin Junick's line is done. An inning and a third, 6 hits allowed as that pitch is a breaking ball down low, 2-0. Inning and a third for Junick, 6 hits. He allowed 4 runs, all earned, struck out 1, walked 1. Replaced by Jacob Spencer. Murdoch on the ground towards the second baseman. Good hop for Ben Wallachek. He'll throw on to first in time, and there's 1 away. So up comes Saskatoon product Corey Waters, the designated hitter. Waters hit .363 in the regular season, 65 hits and 179 at-bats. Tied for second in the league in home runs with a dozen. First pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike at the knees. Balin Sorensen, the catcher, on deck. Broken bat towards the shortstop, Soto. He'll throw on to first in time, 2 away. So now Balin Sorensen, the catcher, coming up. Sorensen, like many of the Berries in this order tonight, are veterans of this league. Second-year veterans. Sorensen played in Saskatoon last year. This year, Balin Sorensen played in 42 games. Hit .278, right-hand hitter from Monroe, Louisiana. First pitch down low, ball 1. Another second-year Berry, Jalen Freeman, the left fielder, on deck. Sorensen hits one line drive into right field, a 2-out single. Second hit of the game for the Berries. And a base runner here in the bottom of the second inning with Jalen Freeman coming to the plate. Freeman in the final game of the regular season hit a 2-run home run against Medicine Hat. His second of the year. Drove in 3 runs total that game, 28 for the year. Houston, Texas product, swings and misses at the first pitch from Walls, strike 1. Freeman hit .268 during the regular season, 40 hits and 149 at-bats. Sorensen creeps off first. Walls pitch, Freeman looked out in the dugout and hit the bar on the divider in front of the dugout. 2 strikes. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning for the Berries, down 4-1. Line drive into center field, a base hit. Sorensen turns second. Center fielder Pacey Phillips gets the ball back into the infield to the shortstop Thomas Soto. And back-to-back hits for the Berries with 2 out here. And back to the top of the order for Carter Beck, who struck out to lead off the bottom of the first for Saskatoon. Beck had hits in 6 of his last 7 games, going 15 for 31, or 484 in those last 7 regular season games. First pitch from Weston Walls in for a strike. Beck also had a home run and 6 RBI in those last 7 games. From Carnduff, Saskatchewan. Carnduff kid, Carnduff clubber. This one on the ground. Wallachek backs up. He will flip to Soto and he's safe. Freeman with hustle, able to beat out the toss from Ben Wallachek to Thomas Soto at second, and the bases are loaded. And now Dustin Mulliken, the pitching coach for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, to come out and chat with Weston Walls. Probably more just to settle him down. He thought he was out of the inning. He induced the ground ball. That should have been out of the inning. But it's a fielder's choice and a safe play at second. No real error on the play. Just good hustle by Freeman to beat the play at second base. Just catcher Andy Rivas joining Dustin Mulliken and pitcher Walls at the mound. Home plate umpire Phil McGee breaks it up. And Ethan Menard to the plate. Hit by a pitch and scored the Berries run back in the bottom of the first inning. We're still in the bottom of the second. Fouled off to the screen, strike 1. Ethan Menard, right-handed hitter, does not get cheated on his swings very often. You can fool him like everybody can get fooled from time to time by a pitcher's pitch. But if he sees what he likes, he's going to take a rip. Go big or go home, basically, is the attitude. Weston Walls with the bases loaded and 2 out. And foul back to the screen again. Walls way ahead in the count, 2 strikes. Second baseman ABM Medina on deck. Two-strike pitch. On the ground, wide of third base, foul. Count holds at 2 strikes. Mentioned Ethan Menard sat out the last few games, 3 games of the regular season, with a lower body injury. Yes, that happens in baseball as well as hockey, that description. A breaking ball fouled towards the Moose Jaw third base dugout. Still 2 strikes. Pat Janix brings out some baseballs for the home plate umpire McGee. Walls has his sign from catcher Rivas. 2-strike pitch, and again fouled off. That one was up and in, and Menard fights it off and fouls it over top of the first base bleachers out of play. 2 strikes, the count still. We're going to get our 4th 0-2 pitch upcoming momentarily from Weston Walls here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, as the game slows down a touch. 2 strikes, and fouled off again, wide of third. Menard spoiling some pretty good offerings from Weston Walls, looking to get out of the inning. Fans appreciating the effort that Ethan Menard is putting in, clapping, cheering, trying to exhort Ethan Menard on to something great here. A 2-strike pitch upcoming from Weston Walls. Hacked in the air, center field. Pacey Phillips calling for it in right center, makes the catch. That's the end of the inning. Pitch was up high, but Ethan Menard got a whack at it. No runs, 2 hits, no Moose Jaw errors, 3 runners left on base. After 2, Moose Jaw 4, Saskatoon 1. You're watching Barrie's baseball on FloCollege. Let me see. Yep. Top of the 3rd inning upcoming. Jacob Spencer, 2nd pitcher of the night for the Saskatoon Berries. His team trailing 4-1 to the Moose Jaw Miller Express. You see Weston Walls, the league leader in strikeouts and innings pitched, as we mentioned earlier in the ball game. Will Edwards tied the single season record in the WCBL for runs batted in with 66. Thomas Soto, the single season record holder for runs scored, he had 70. And Will Edwards, the league leader in doubles this year, he had 22. First pitch strike from Jacob Spencer to Tanner DeGrazia, the right fielder who's first up. He popped up to second base his first time up. Catcher Andy Rivas and DH Robert Estrada next. This one hit in the air, left field, caught by Jalen Freeman in left, so 1 away. Up comes Andy Rivas, who flew out to right fielder Ethan Murdoch to finish off the top of the 1st inning. Rivas finished off the regular season with hits in 3 straight games. As the first pitch from Jacob Spencer bounces away from catcher Balin Sorensen, a ball. 5 for 12 was Rivas in the final 3 games, hitting .417. Fouls that pitch off, wide of third base. 1 ball, 1 strike. DH Robert Estrada on deck. Spencer's 1-1 is called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Andy Rivas. 5'11", 200-pound right-hand hitter. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Spencer with his first strikeout of this appearance, 2 away in the top of the 3rd inning, and up comes DH Robert Estrada, who singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Estrada, in the regular season, played in just 19 games, was 22 of 71, a .310 average, a home run and 11 RBI. Spencer stepped off the rubber for a moment, now back ready to go, and first pitch in for a strike. Robert Estrada from Maracay, 5'11", 180 pounds, check swing. He went, according to home plate umpire McGee, 2 strikes, as that was a breaking ball that Estrada was fooled on. Spencer looking to make it a quick inning. 2-strike pitch, up high, ball 1. 1-2 the count on the Moose Jaw DH. Pacey Phillips, the center fielder, on deck. 1-2 pitch fouled off at the plate. Count holds at 1-2. Estrada finished the regular season with hits in 3 of his last 4 games. Hitting .333. I can do the math on 4 for 12. Had 4 RBIs. Check swing, and they appeal at first. Not granted. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Estrada. .6'4" tall right-hander Jacob Spencer. Line drive right field towards the corner. That is going to fall. Jacob or Ethan Murdoch will chase it down to the foul line, but into second base with an off-field double is Robert Estrada with 2 away, and it'll bring up the center fielder Pacey Phillips, who singled and scored last inning as well. Phillips finished the regular season with hits in his last 3 games. 4 for 9 in that time, .444. He had a home run and 5 RBI in those last 3 games. The home run was his only one of the season. That would have felt good for the corroborated Saskatchewan product, as they're going to throw over to first and check and appeal as to whether or not Robert Estrada touched first base, but home plate umpire Phil McGee says no, he waved safe, so obviously Estrada touched first. So now Spencer, first pitch to Phillips, is outside, ball 1. Second baseman Ben Wallachek on deck. Jacob Spencer with the big flow of red hair coming out from under that cap. Pours in a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. I used to have hair like that. I also used to be young like that too. But those are all things that are long gone nowadays, and probably for the better. 1-1 pitch, up high. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm thinking I might actually maybe grow my hair again, just for poops and giggles. My sisters will hate it, but my wife will love it. Don't ask me why. 2-1. Trying to lay down a bunt and surprise, but it goes foul on the third base side. 2-2. .4-1 Moose Jaw with the lead here in the top of the 3rd inning at Next Gen Patch at Garens Field. Game 1 of the best of 3 East Division semifinal. 3 other series are underway tonight. Although if you look at the WCBL website, there's only 2 others listed on the scoreboard, but pretty sure there's a game in Okotoks tonight as Phillips fouls that off, and the count holds at 2-2. And they say red hair is a recessive gene. Ha! Not likely. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 3rd. Swing and a line drive single up the middle by Phillips. Estrada around third. Here comes Beck's throw home, but it's going to be up the first base line, and Estrada will slide in safely. And that makes it 5-1 in favor of Moose Jaw. An RBI for Pacey Phillips with a 2-out single. It'll bring up the second baseman, Ben Wallachek. Wallachek with a sacrifice bunt last inning to put Estrada and Phillips into scoring position, which they then scored on a base hit by Thomas Soto, who's on deck. Miller Express have brought their hitting shoes tonight. 9 hits already in the game as that first pitch from Jacob Spencer to Ben Wallachek is up high, ball 1. 1-0 count. Foul back to the screen, 1-1. The Moose Jaw team was a strange one this year in that they had a record of 27 wins and 29 losses. We're 15-13 on the road and just 12-16 at Roswell's Park, where game 2 will be played tomorrow night. Heading to second and getting in there on the breaking ball that's down in the dirt and blocked by Balin Sorensen, a stolen base for Pacey Phillips. A count of 2-1 now on Ben Wallachek. Phillips had 3 steals in 5 attempts during the regular season. Jacob Spencer with a 2-1 pitch upcoming to Ben Wallachek. Hit on the ground, past him, off the ground, off the mound, and mishandled by Nathan Houston, the shortstop. Wallachek is on first. Phillips advances to third, and the first error of the game for the Saskatoon Berries is on the shortstop, Nathan Houston. Keeps the inning alive, and Thomas Soto, who's 2 for 2, scored twice, and is up for a third time here in the third inning. He's only seen 2 pitches. Spencer with a toss over to first to check on Ben Wallachek. Let's see if Soto actually takes the pitches. Dallin Rude starts to throw for the Berries down the right field line. First pitch swinging, he fouled it off. Strike 1. Soto from Round Rock, Texas. We can actually talk about him a little bit when he not first pitch hitting. Coming off his junior year at the University of Texas at Dallas. 3rd season with the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And foul back to the screen as again Wallachek was taking off with the pitch. 2 strikes the count on Soto. William Edwards, the Aussie left fielder, is on deck. Jacob Spencer would like to get out of this inning without giving up any more. Again, heading to second is Wallachek, and a pitch down low, blocked by Sorensen. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Thomas Soto, with now runners on second and third. Pacey Phillips at third base, Ben Wallachek at second. The 1-2 pitch from Jacob Spencer is in there for a called strike 3. Soto stands in the left-hand batter's box, and we'll have a little discussion with the home plate umpire Phil McGee about the call. But that's the end of the inning. Couple of strikeouts for Spencer, but another run scored for Moose Jaw in the top of the third. On 2 hits, there was 1 Berries error and 2 runners left on base. After 2.5, Moose Jaw 5, Saskatoon 1, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Oh. Bottom of the third inning. Weston Walls staked to a 5-1 lead now over the Saskatoon Berries here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Berries will send up the heart of the order. Hitters 3, 4, and 5. A.B.M. Medina, the second baseman. Mason Rell, the third baseman. And shortstop Nathan Houston. Medina singled back in the first inning. Ethan Menard came in on an error back in the first inning. First pitch in for a strike as Medina showed bunt. Brought the third baseman Eduardo Saenz charging in from third. Didn't have to make a play. Medina with 5 RBI in his last 3 games, during which he went 4 for 10. Fouled back to the screen just above us. 2 strikes to call, or the count, I should say. Mason Rell on deck. 2-strike pitch, fouled off. It stays 0-2. Weston Walls pitched a lot of innings for Moose Jaw in the regular season. He's the ace of the staff. That pitch is just outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a rather imposing figure out there at 6'5", 220. 1-2 pitch. Medina fouls it off back to the screen. Stays alive. Wasting a 1-2 pitch. Berries in their white home jerseys. Medina slaps that one into left field between the shortstop Soto and third baseman Saenz. A leadoff single here in the bottom of the third inning. It'll bring up Mason Rell, who reached on an error to the third baseman, a throwing error to Eduardo Saenz. Back in the bottom of the first. He brought in the only run for the Berries thus far in the game. I mentioned Rell's grand slam home run that won the 45th game of the season for the Berries back on Sunday afternoon against Medicine Hat as he takes a first pitch ball. That was Rell's only hit in his last 3 regular season games. He was 1 for 14, but he had a home run and 5 RBI. Takes a strike from Walls. 1 ball, 1 strike. Weston Walls has unofficially thrown 45 pitches here in the bottom of the third inning. Breaking ball, and they say that one stayed inside. 2 balls and a strike. In the catcher's glove, it looked really good. Framed by Andy Rivas. 2-1 count. Hit back up the middle, and to get through, Walls got a glove on it, but couldn't knock it down. It's into center field, and Medina stops at second. The first 2 men are on with base hits here for the Berries in the bottom of the third inning, and Nathan Houston, the shortstop, coming up. That's 5 hits for Saskatoon now in the ball game. Houston finished the year with hits in 4 of his last 5 games. He shows bunt, lays it down. Walls up with it, wanted to make a play at third and fumbled the ball. Everybody's safe, and the bases are loaded. And it's the second time in the ball game, and it's the second time in as many innings, that the Berries have the bases loaded, as that's an error on the pitcher Walls. And here comes Dustin Mulliken out again to chat with Weston Walls. They'll bring the entire infield in, along with catcher Andy Rivas, to chat about this. There's nobody warming up down the left field line in the Moose Jaw bullpen. It's a sacrifice, but an error that allows Houston to reach first. So Abian Medina at third, Mason Rell at second, Nathan Houston at first, nobody out, and Ethan Murdoch, the hitter. The Berries' right fielder, who not only played at Marshall University the last 2 years, but played his first 2 years of college baseball in 2022 and 23 with Mid-Plains Community College McCook campus in Nebraska. Hit up the middle, it'll be speared by Soto. One-handed at second for one and on to first in time. Medina scores to make it 5-2. Rell on to third, but just like that, one pitch and 2 outs. Second double play turned by the Moose Jaw Miller Express here in this ball game. Corey Waters to the plate now with 2 out and a runner on third, and the score 5-2 for Moose Jaw. Waters grounded to the shortstop Soto in the second inning. Breaking pitch outside, ball 1. Waters had a 9-game hitting streak to finish the regular season, with a couple of home runs and 11 RBIs, going 16 for 38. Again, breaking pitch down low, ball 2. Let's break out the calculator. 16 for 38, 421. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off to the screen, 2-1. Balin Sorensen, the catcher, on deck for Saskatoon. Bottom of the third inning, and we're already past an hour in playing time. 2-1 pitch, outside, 3-1. Nice evening. Partly cloudy skies, 24 degrees Celsius. Barely a breath of a wind out of the west at 3 kilometers per hour, it says, from Environment Canada at the Saskatoon Airport. 3-1 pitch, fouled down the right field side and towards the batting cage. A full count on Waters. Walls pitched 72 innings in 16 appearances. He had a complete game. It's going to be a while before he comes out and they activate the bullpen. 3-2 pitch is hacked, fouled up the third baseline. Count holds full at 3-2. Your average outing is 4.5 innings, and you threw 3 of those games in relief. So you're getting at least 5-6 innings out of Weston Walls. 3-2 pitch. Waters reaches out, swinging bunt. Signs trying to barehand it, can't do it. Waters is safe at first, and in to score is Mason Rell, and it's 5-3. That will be an infield single and an RBI for Corey Waters. He just basically flipped the bat out and managed to put it in play. Nope. 3 hits in the inning for the Berries. 2 runs in. Waters at first, and Balin Sorensen, who singled his first time up, hit a line shot to right field off Weston Walls. First pitch is at the knees, a strike. Balin Sorensen had a slow ending to the season, coming off his senior year at Southeastern Louisiana. Fouled off at the plate. Now he's behind 0-2. Balin was 0 for 10 in his last 3 games of the regular season. as he split time with Rudy Gonzalez at catcher. Down the stretch. 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball stays up high. Ball 1. Jalen Freeman hoping for a hack at it this inning. And there's called strike 3 at the letters, according to home plate umpire Phil McGee. That is strikeout number 2 of the game for Weston Walls. The Berries retired in the bottom of the 3rd inning, but scored 2 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 Moose Jaw error and 1 runner left on base. We've played 3 complete in Game 1 of the best of 3 East Division semifinal. It's Moose Jaw 5, Saskatoon 3. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Just leave it. There you go. Your unofficial line score through 3 innings of play here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Moose Jaw Miller Express have 5 runs on 9 hits. They've committed 3 errors. They've left 5 runners on base. Saskatoon Berries have scored 3 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 1 error, and they've left 5 runners on base. As we head to the top of the 4th inning, Jacob Spencer still out there pitching for Saskatoon. He'll face the numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. The left fielder, William Edwards, first baseman, Austin Gurney, and the third baseman, Eduardo Sainz. Edwards singled in the first, walked in the second. He's been on base both times up. Top 3 guys in the Moose Jaw order so far are 5 for 6 with a walk. Edwards takes a strike. They've scored 2 runs, and they've driven in 4 runs. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 2 strikes on William Edwards. Coming off his junior year at the University of Sioux Falls. Hometown is New South Wales. 2-strike pitch. He stuck the bat out. Hits it to Ethan Menard at first. Flips over to Jacob Spencer, the pitcher covering. And there's 1 away. Austin Gurney, 2 for 2, the first baseman for Moose Jaw. 2 singles, 2 RBI. Has driven in Thomas Soto both times. No Soto on base this time. Gurney stole a base back in the first inning as well when there were runners at first and third. Left-handed hitter Austin Gurney will take a fastball strike. Gurney finished the year with a 6-game hitting streak. 3 home runs and 9 RBI while going 12 for 21. On the inside corner for strike 2. Gurney kind of made a move as if to think that was inside, trying to fake out the duck out of the way, and Phil McGee, the home plate umpire, wasn't having any of it. 12 for 21 is a .571 average down the stretch. Down and in, ball 1, 1-2 on Gurney. Eduardo Sainz, third baseman on deck for Moose Jaw. And now Spencer backs off the rubber. Gurney had called time. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Popped up in the infield. Abia Medina calling for it in behind second base, makes the catch. And there's 2 away. So the 1-2-3 hitters for Moose Jaw, who did a lot of the damage in the first 2 innings, have each made an out now in their 3rd time up. If you're a Berries fan, that's things looking up. But you still are trailing by 2 here. Signs, meanwhile, is 0 for 2. Struck out in the first and grounded into an inning-ending double play in the top of the 2nd inning. And takes a fastball in for a strike. Signs during the regular season against the Berries hit .241. 7 for 29. Swings and misses at a breaking ball, strike 2. He did have a home run and 9 RBI, did Eduardo Signs, as public address announcer Jeff Hayes in the building tonight, trying to get the fans to get loud and bring home the end of the top of the 4th inning here. Moose Jaw have scored in each of the first 3. On the outside corner, called strike 3. Signs again not happy. He strikes out for a 2nd time in the game, and that's Jacob Spencer's 3rd strikeout of this appearance. The first time tonight we have a 3-up, 3-down inning. No runs, no hits, no Berries errors, nobody left on base after 3.5. It's Moose Jaw 5, Saskatoon 3. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the 4th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Let's take a look elsewhere around the Western Canadian Baseball League on night 1, day 1 of the playoffs. 3 other series, 3 other division semifinals getting started. In Medicine Hat, in the top of the 5th inning, the Regina Red Sox lead the Mavericks 2-1. Bottom of the 1st, Lethbridge and Sylvan Lake are scoreless. And in the bottom of the 3rd, Okotoks leads Brooks by a score of 4-1. Freeman shows bunts it, and it'll go foul. Eduardo Signs charged in from 3rd, couldn't catch it on the fly, and let it go. And when it hit the ground, and it spun foul. Freeman singled back in the 2nd inning in his first time up. And then a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 2. Jalen Freeman finished the regular season as that pitch is inside 1-2. Going 2 for 16 in his last 5 games, but had a home run and 3 RBI. Hacks one towards 3rd, taken on a high hop, but then Signs throws it away. Freeman will head for second base as Gurney couldn't flag down the high throw from Eduardo Signs. That's Signs' 2nd throwing error of the night. Freeman on second base. And the top of the order coming up, Carter Beck. Signs made the good play, being in on the grass to field the one hopper from Freeman his way, opposite field. But almost had too much time to make the throw and airmailed it. That's the 4th error already of the game for Moose Jaw. Beck shows bunt inside, ball 1. Carter Beck is 0 for 2. Walls' pitch, line drive, speared, but not on a fly, and the throw on to first in time to get him. Jalen Freeman went back to the bag because he wasn't sure that Ben Wallachek, the second baseman, had caught the ball on the fly, but he had short-hopped it, diving over to his right. So 1 away, and Ethan Menard, who's 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and scored in the first inning, flew out to center in the second. Barry's first baseman hits a fly ball to center field again. Freeman tagging up. The catch made by Pacey Phillips, and Freeman will hold right where he is. So 2 outs after the error, and ABM Medina, the Barry's second baseman, who's 2 for 2, a couple of singles and scored a run in the third. Weston Walls. Freeman started to go to third, and Walls could have picked him off because Freeman went halfway and stopped, and Walls still had the ball in his hand, then delivered a pitch low and inside, and Freeman ends up stealing third base. Ball 1 to ABM Medina. Medina fouls that pitch off into the parking lot over top of the third base bleachers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jalen Freeman stole 17 bases during the regular season. That one could have been an adventure, but it worked out fine for him and the Berries. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Medina, 1-2. Weston Walls has unofficially thrown 70 pitches. And we're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Inside to Medina. Moose Jaw second baseman Ben Wallachuk puts hands on top of his head, thinking that was strike 3, but not so in the eyes of home plate umpire Phil McGee. The count is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fouled off at the plate, and I think Medina just broke his bat. So he'll need a new stick. There is nobody. There's the left field bullpen for Moose Jaw's barren. There's some duffel bags down there, but that's about it. No players. Meanwhile, down the right field line, Zach Laird is starting to do some warming up. Not to a catcher, throwing to a screen out there in right field, down the right field line. Meanwhile, a second attempt at a 2-2 pitch here from Weston Walls to ABM Medina. And another broken bat. Fouled it up the first base line. Imagine if you had to pay for your broken bats, Medina would be broke. So now, let's see what he wants here. A selection of 2 bats brought out to him by a teammate. I can't tell who it is. I think it might be Nathan Houston, who's due up 2 after him. It was Nathan Houston, the former Moose Jaw Miller Express. So, Medina has a new weapon. Texas A&M International. Coming off his senior year is Medina. Let's see if this bat works. And it's a little line drive into left field coming on. And William Edwards has it. Edwards with a sliding catch to rob A.B. Medina of an RBI single. And that's the end of the bottom of the fourth inning. No runs, no hits. One Moose Jaw error, one runner left on base. After 4, Miller Express 5, Saskatoon Berries 3, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. No. No, I don't believe so. Yep. Top of the 5th inning. That next-gen patch at Cairns Field. You know it's August when you start to see the sun going down a little earlier than it had been back in the first couple of months of the season. Playoff baseball time in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Moose Jaw Miller Express coming up here in the top of the 5th inning with their 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Tanner DeGrazia, the right fielder, catcher Andy Rivas, and DH Robert Estrada to face Jacob Spencer, who's been on since the 2nd inning in place of starting pitcher Calvin Junick. Spencer's first pitch inside to DeGrazia, ball 1. Tanner DeGrazia during the regular season was 4 for 28 against the Berries head-to-head. 143 average as he fouls that pitch off. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he's 0 for 2 so far tonight. Right-handed relief pitcher Jacob Spencer's 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch. Strikeout number 4 for Spencer. 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll bring up the catcher Andy Rivas, who's 0 for 2. Rivas was 1 for 9 against the Berries during the regular season. But the 1 was a home run, a solo home run in Moose Jaw. Steps into the right-hand batter's box to face Spencer, whose first pitch is a swing and a miss. That's breaking ball again. Spencer has a pretty good spin on that going right now. He's got the feel of it. Strike 1. They have some wonderful stuff up on there for the Jumbotron. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. For Jacob Spencer on the Jumbotron, it says he would like to appear in the show Love Island. Seriously. 2-strike pitch coming to Andy Rivas. Ball 1. The Barry fun facts sometimes are incredible. He also likes the movie Slapshot. Well, right there, that's right up my alley. Good job, Jacob. 1-2 pitch. And again, down low, 2-2. DH Robert Estrada on deck. Also says he would play football if he wasn't playing baseball. He's big enough to do that. 6'4", 200 pounds. 2-2 pitch. Up and away. Full count now. He had a 2-strike count on Rivas. Now he started reading the Barry fun facts about him, and now he's 3-2. 3 guesses first who don't count what I'm going to stop doing. 3-2 pitch upcoming to Andy Rivas. He'll foul it off at the plate. Stays alive at 3-2. Spencer has thrown 55 pitches so far as Zach Laird is quickly warming up down the right field line for the Berries. This may be Spencer's last inning. Again fouled off a breaking ball. But if Spencer can get through this, he'll have had a pretty good outing at 3 2/3 innings. Rivas with a line shot into left field, hustling over to his right to stop it before it gets to the fence is Jalen Freeman and hold Andy Rivas to a single. That's the 10th hit of the game for Moose Jaw. Now Robert Estrada, the designated hitter, who's 2 for 2, scored twice, singled in the second inning, doubled and scored in the third. Estrada was 1 for 8 against the Berries during the regular season, but he's making up for it so far tonight. As he lays down a bunt, Spencer, and they're going to call foul ball. It must have either hit Estrada in the batter's box or hit behind home plate and then jumped forward into the field of play. Either way, it's a foul ball. If it hits Estrada while he's outside the batter's box, he's out. But he's back in the batter's box, so that obviously didn't happen. 1 strike pitch. Inside and high, ball 1, 1-1. Pacey Phillips, the center fielder, on deck. As Zach Laird continues to warm up. Fouled off again up the third base line by Estrada. 1 ball, 2 strikes. "5-3 Moose Jaw leads in the top of the 5th inning in Game 1 of the best-of-3 East Division semifinal. 4th place Miller Express against the 1st place Saskatoon Berries. 1-2 pitch. A line right back to Spencer, and he'll throw to first to complete a double play and end the inning. A shot right back to the pitcher, who was in good fielding position to make the play for the second out, and Andy Rivas was in no man's land, caught off first base for the third out. No runs, 1 hit. There were no Berries errors and nobody left on base. After 4.5, we're halfway home. It is Moose Jaw 5, Saskatoon 3. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yep. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 5-3 Moose Jaw with the lead. Berries will send up the middle third of their order against starting pitcher Weston Walls. Mason Rell, the third baseman, shortstop Nathan Houston, right fielder Ethan Murdoch. Walls unofficially has thrown 74 pitches through 4 innings. And there is some movement now down in the left field bullpen. Nathan Pizzio is jumping around, doing some running on the spot essentially, starting to get the blood flowing. But he's their closer. Unless we also have a change in the ball game. For Moose Jaw, Eduardo Signs out of the ball game. And in for him is Abe Alberg, who's listed as a pitcher, but is into the ball game as a third baseman. Mason Rell on to face Weston Walls here. Rell 1 for 2, singled and scored a run back in the third inning. First pitch swinging, it's a two-hopper to the right side, fielded by the first baseman Austin Gurney, and quickly Walls has an out. It'll bring up Nathan Houston, the shortstop, who's 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play. Sacrificed. He's actually 0 for 1. Grounded into a double play and sacrificed, but reached base when the pitcher Walls mishandled the bunt. Houston takes a strike. Nathan Houston, swing and a miss, strike 2 on a breaking pitch down low. Houston played last season for the Moose Jaw Miller Express and was an affiliate player with Moose Jaw back in 2023. Inside, ball 1. You know that Moose Jaw thinks there's a strike. All you have to do is watch Ben Wallachek at second base. His emotions will tell you everything you need to know. As a foul-tipped strikeout now, Houston's retired. Strikeout number 3 for Walls. 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and up comes Ethan Murdoch. He is 0 for 2, a couple of ground balls, including a ground ball double play back in the 3rd inning. Breaking ball inside, ball 1. Wallachek at second, throws his hands out to his side, talking and yelling over to Thomas Soto, how is that not a strike? Breaking ball at the knees, strike 1. And then the umpires behind home plate don't like that one. Phil McGee, the home plate umpire, must be doing great if that's the case. Inside, 2-1 the count. Two and one count. Breaking ball outside. Murdoch up 3-1 on Weston Walls with Corey Waters, the DH, on deck. Fastball at the knees, strike 2, full count. Murdoch played for his hometown Swift Current 57s back in 2023. Inside, ball 4, a 2-out walk to bring up Waters. Walls has hit a batter, and that's the first walk that he has issued in the ball game. Waters is 1 for 2, singled his last time up, and drove in Mason Rell. He just basically reached out when fooled in a swinging bunt that turned into an RBI and a base hit as he takes a strike from Walls. Waters was 8 for 23 with 2 home runs and 4 RBI head-to-head against Moose Jaw this season. Inside corner at the knees, strike 2 on Waters. 20-year-old from Saskatoon. 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits for the Berries in the top of the 5th inning, or in the bottom of the 5th inning. There were no Moose Jaw errors and 1 runner left on base. After 5 complete, Moose Jaw 5, Saskatoon 3. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. New pitcher. Going to be 13. As we head to the top of the 6th inning, the Saskatoon Berries will bring in their 3rd pitcher of the night. Zach Laird will come on. Left-hander, Zach Laird. The busiest of the Berries pitchers this season. He made 19 appearances, all in relief. Had a 4-0 record with a save and a 2.14 earned run average. Laird threw 21 innings. Allowed 13 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Struck out 38 and walked 12. Zach Laird's from Langley, BC, coming off his senior year at Indiana State University, a teammate of Carter Beck, Mason Rell, and Jacob Spencer, whom he's replacing out on the mound now. Spencer pitched 3 2/3 innings. Gave up 4 hits. 1 run, and it was unearned. He struck out 4 and didn't walk anybody. Jacob Spencer pitched to 14 batters and unofficially threw 61 pitches. Sorry, unofficially threw. That's not right either. Yeah, he threw 61 pitches. Never mind me. So Zach Laird into the ball game. 5'7", 150-pound left-hander. He'll face Pacey Phillips, then Ben Wallachek, and then Thomas Soto, top of the order for Moose Jaw. Pacey Phillips is 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a stolen base and a run scored. 5-3 Moose Jaw with the lead. All the scoring in this game coming in the first 3 innings. The last 2 have had zeros on the board as the first pitch slider in for a strike. Laird last pitched on August 1st in Regina. Couple of innings, gave up 1 hit. Breaking pitch outside, taken for a ball by Pacey Phillips. Struck out 4, walked 1 in those 2 innings. A 7-6 Regina extra inning victory over the Saskatoon Berries. 1-1 offering is a breaking ball in for a strike. 1-2. Laird faced Moose Jaw in Moose Jaw, got credit for the win in relief, a 12-8 Berries win. Giving up 1 hit in 1 inning, striking out 2, walking 2. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball stays high, 2-2. And that was the only time Zach Laird faced the Moose Jaw Miller Express this season. Laird set, pitches out of the stretch even with nobody on base, hit back through the middle and into center field for a base hit. Laird just about got decapitated there. He's all right, didn't get hit, but there's a base hit for Pacey Phillips, who's 3 for 3 today. And now up comes Ben Wallachek, the second baseman, who has a sacrifice bunt and reached on an error his last time up. Then it'll be the top of the order. Mason Rell on the edge of the grass at third base. Ethan Menard holding at first. Wallachek showed bunt, tried to go first base side, and fouls it towards the Saskatoon Berries first base dugout. One strike on Wallachek. Top of the order, Thomas Soto on deck. Mentioned Pacey Phillips has a steal already tonight. Wallachek showing bunt already. Now takes the bat back into the cock position, and Laird will throw over to first and check on Pacey Phillips. Phillips, during the regular season head-to-head against the Berries, was 5 for 18, hitting .278. Wallachek, meanwhile, was 5 for 21. Down low, ball and a strike. .238 average for Wallachek head-to-head against the Berries. Again, he shows bunt. Now brings the bat back to the normal hitting position. Breaking pitch in for a strike. 1-2 the count on the young man who wears his emotions on his sleeve. Wallachek from Wichita, Kansas. He knows Zach Laird pretty well. He's coming off his junior year at Indiana State. And Laird with a throw over to first to check on Phillips, who's doing a lot of gesturing and faking that he's going to take off for second base. So Laird says, all right, you just stay there. Let me see how brave you are. I'll throw over. Now Wallachek calls timeout. Top of the sixth inning in Game 1 of the best-of-3 East Division semifinal. Game 2 is tomorrow night at 7:05 at Roswells Park in Moose Jaw. A Game 3, if necessary, on Friday back here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field at 7 o'clock. Long ways to go in Game 1. Wallachek fouls that one past the first base coach, who bravely stood there and watched as it sliced on by him. Count holding at 1-2. Zach Laird also pitched in this league a couple of years back. As he gets hit by a pitch, Wallachek on an inside pitch gets plunked, and Phillips will move up to second. Wallachek got hit by a pitch several times this year. Not quite as many times as his teammate DeGrazia, but it was 13 times that he got hit, and he got fired up about being hit by the pitch. So Thomas Soto is a switch hitter as he goes into the right-hand batter's box to face Laird with nobody out and runners on first and second here in the top of the sixth inning. He'll show bunt, and bunt's foul as Ethan Menard was charging in from first base. Rell doesn't want to charge in. He wants to be able to go back to third and maybe get a force. Soto, if he's going to bunt, has to bunt towards third base and make Mason Rell field the ball. Wallachek with a big lead off of first as Menard is onto the infield grass. Soto shows bunt again and stabs at it and fouls it off again. 2 strikes. That should be the end of the bunt idea. Thomas Soto's 2 for 3 tonight. 2 runs scored on a couple of singles back in the first 2 innings. He hasn't been at plate since the third when he struck out against Jacob Spencer. Zach Laird looking for the first out that he can record of this appearance. Bouncing pitch in, blocked by Balin Sorensen, runners hold. A ball and 2 strikes. Left fielder William Edwards on deck. Then it's the first baseman Austin Gurney. the very tough top three in the Moose Jaw order now in play here in the top of the sixth. Laird with a 1-2 count on Soto. Heading for third, a swing and a miss. Strike three. But stealing third base is Pacey Phillips, uncontested. One away, runners on first and third. Wallachek will be taking off, I'm pretty certain. Pretty quickly here with William Edwards at the plate. Edwards is 1 for 2. Singled in the first, walked in the second. Grounded out to Ethan Menard back in the fourth inning. And the league leader in RBI this past year with 66 has a chance to increase the advantage, as Laird will throw over to check on Ben Wallachek. Indiana State teammate, watching his Indiana State teammate carefully at first. Wallachek with a nice lead, and again Laird will throw over. The beauty of being a left-hander, you're looking right at the runner at first base. Wallachek moved back towards first. Fly ball into right field. Murdoch makes the catch. Heading for home. The throw will be cut by Ethan Murdoch, as sliding in safely with the sixth run is Pacey Phillips. It's a sacrifice fly to right field for William Edwards, and an RBI that makes it 6-3. Two away, Wallachek on first, and Austin Gurney now up to the plate. He's 2 for 3, a couple of singles and a couple of RBI. Gurney popped up his first time out, or his last time up, I should say. 4-year veteran member of the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Down low with the pitch, ball 1. From Campbell River, BC, coming off his senior year at Pikeville. Gurney in the top 5 in several offensive categories for individuals. 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, outside, 2-0. Left-handed pitching Laird to left-handed hitting Gurney. Abe Alberg, the new third baseman, is on deck. He replaced Eduardo Sainz back in the bottom of the fifth inning in the field. Laird with a toss over to check on Wallachek. Ben Wallachek stole second back in the third inning. Two 2-0 pitch upcoming to Gurney. And it's down low, 3-0. Both bullpens inactive right now. Weston Walls has pitched 5 pretty good innings for Moose Jaw. Joe Carnahan wants to see what Zach Laird can do here, as that pitch is on the outside corner, strike 1. Gurney took off a batting glove, tossed his bat aside, and was headed to first base thinking he had walked, and now he'll have to come back, retrieve the bat, and get the glove and put it back on. Make that an elbow pad that he's going to have to put on first. 3-1 the count. Tanner DeGrazia, who's 2 up after, helping him out with getting that elbow pad and the bat back. Wallachek at first base. 3-1 the count. Swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 2. And now the fans all over Austin Gurney as a result of that thought he had walked and now has 2 strikes on him. 3-2 pitch is fouled off at the plate. He stays alive. That was in on the hands. He was able to get a piece of it. One run in, runner on first, 2 away. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Austin Gurney. We're in the top of the 6th inning in Game 1 of the best-of-3 East Division semifinal. Foul back as Wallachek was taking off with the pitch, as you would expect with the full count and 2 out. Gurney stays alive. Laird will throw a 3rd time with a 3-2 pitch here momentarily. In the top of the 6th inning. And now a throw over to Wallachek, and he's just back in. Menard thought he'd gotten the tag on him, but the first base umpire, Scott Mostaway, says hand got to the bag just underneath the tag. That was close. Menard was actually playing behind and snuck back in behind him to the bag, and they almost picked off Ben Wallachek. Three-two pitch on the outside corner, called strike 3. That retires the side. Couple of strikeouts for Zach Laird in the top of the 6th, but Moose Jaw scores a run on 1 hit. There were no Barry's errors and 1 runner left on base. After 5.5, Moose Jaw 6, Saskatoon 3. You're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. No, it's the bottom of the 6th now. Bottom of the 6th inning, Weston Walls has pitched 5 innings here tonight for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. He'll go through the Barry's lineup for a 3rd time with the last 2 hitters in the order, and then Carter Beck will be up for a 4th time as the 3rd hitter. Some activity down the left field line in the Moose Jaw bullpen, but nothing all that terribly urgent just yet. Balin Sorensen, the catcher, Jalen Freeman, the left fielder, and then Carter Beck up for the Berries here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-3 Moose Jaw with the lead. Sorensen 1 for 2, takes a strike. Singled in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. Walls has struck out 4 and walked 1 so far through 5. That pitch inside almost hits. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 offering. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 1-2 the count. Weston Walls and kicks and delivers. Bounces it in, 2-2. Good crowd on hand for Game 1. Breaking ball stays inside, and now it's a full count. as we've hit 2 hours into this ball game. And then the breaking ball stays inside and hits Sorensen. So he's on first to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll bring up Jalen Freeman, the left fielder who singled in the 2nd inning, reached on an error by the departed third baseman Eduardo Saenz back in the 4th frame. His home plate umpire Phil McGee will whisk off the plate, make it nice and clean for this at-bat. First pitch foul back to the screen, strike 1. That may have caught a few people on the way through. There's a few ticks off the bat, off the catcher, off the home plate umpire. Everybody's okay. Freeman to the right side. Wallachek fields it, throw on to first, and in time to get the out, Sorensen advances to second. Wallachek with a great play, ranging to his left, diving, and then rolling over and getting the throw off to Gurney in time for the out. So now Carter Beck to the plate. He's 0 for 3. And due, I would say. He has Sorensen out at second base. Weston Walls, as Beck showed bunt, and the first pitch breaking ball is down low, ball 1. Carter Beck had 4 home runs and 12 RBI head-to-head against Moose Jaw this year. 3 of those home runs in 1 game. 1-0 pitch. Inside with a fastball. He put a little extra juice into that one. 2-0. During the regular season, Beck was 12 for 31, or 387 against Moose Jaw. 2-0 pitch, inside, 3-0. First baseman Ethan Menard on deck. See if Beck has the green light to swing 3-0. He doesn't. He takes a strike, predictably. 3-1. Be curious to see how many times a 3-0 pitch comes for a strike and how many times it's ball 4. Beck with a high fly ball into center field. Drifting back, Pacey Phillips. He's got room, makes the catch. Sorensen will come on to third base and will be 90 feet away from scoring, but the Berries have 2 away. And up comes Ethan Menard. 0 for 2, hit by a pitch and scored in the first inning. Berries need to string together some hits. Walls has done an effective job here so far, scattering 7. First pitch outside, ball 1. Actually, it's 6 hits for the Berries. Swing and a miss. Foul tip, actually. 1-1 the count. Menard hit 12 home runs during the regular season and drove in 39. He hit a ground ball. Thomas Soto fields, throws to first in time to retire the side. So for the Berries in the bottom of the 6th inning, no runs, no hits, no Moose Jaw errors, 1 runner left on base. After 6, Moose Jaw 6, Saskatoon 3, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Miss what? I don't know. That's possible. Just wait, because I'm going to use that right away. Through 6 innings of play, here's your unofficial line score for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. 6 runs on 11 hits. They've committed 4 errors and have left 6 runners on base. For the Saskatoon Berries, 3 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 1 error. They've left 8 runners on base. Zach Laird back out for the top of the 7th inning. He'll face the middle third of the Moose Jaw order. Abe Alberg will get his first shot at hitting in place of Eduardo Sainz. Then it'll be the right fielder Tanner DeGrazia and catcher Andy Rivas. Alberg is playing third base in place of Sainz. He played 23 games during the regular season, did some pitching, but at the plate he had 208, 11 hits and 53 at-bats, had a home run and 7 RBI. Alberg from Solon Springs, Wisconsin, coming off his freshman year at Colorado Mesa. Right-handed hitter. First pitch in for a strike from Zach Laird. On for a second inning. Still no action down the left field line. Weston Walls has unofficially thrown 104 pitches through 6 innings, but has the lead. Breaking ball on the inside corner, 2 strikes on Alberg. So head coach Eric Marriott putting a lot of trust in his ace to keep getting outs. Berries are down to 9 with which to play with. 2 strike pitch fastball is high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Walls in the old days would be called a horse as far as a pitcher goes. Just keep sending him out inning after inning and let him go. 1-2 pitch, fastball, or curveball I should say, swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Zach Laird in his appearance. Now Tanner DeGrazia, who's 0 for 3. Right fielder, popped out, flew out, struck out. .332 hitter in the regular season. Takes up strike on the inside corner. DeGrazia had 7 doubles this year. And as I mentioned, he was hit by a pitch 22 times. 1 strike pitch is down low, ball 1. Andy Rivas, the catcher, on deck. There's activity down the right field line, but nobody throwing yet for the Berries. A breaking pitch swung on and missed, strike 2. If you're playing along with head coach Joe Carnahan, this second inning might be the last one for Laird and somebody else I expect to come out of the bullpen to pitch the 8th and possibly 9th innings. As DeGrazia fouls that off over top of the first base bleachers and stays alive at 1 and 2. Berries lost 3 games at home all season long out of 28. One of them was to Moose Jaw. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a breaking pitch. Laird has the range. 4 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3 for him. Now Andy Rivas, who's 1 for 3. Flew to right in the first, struck out in the third. singled in the fifth, but was doubled off when Robert Estrada lined out back to Jacob Spencer. That was the last batter that Spencer faced, was Robert Estrada, and he's on deck. Laird's first pitch, line shot, great catch by Mason Rell at third base, leaping into the air to spear that hot shot from Andy Rivas. There's a reason why they call it the hot corner. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left after 6.5 heading to the 7th inning stretch. It's Saskatoon 6, Moose Jaw 3. You're watching Barrie's Baseball on FloCollege. Only you, sweetie. Only you.
Only me, because I don't dress right.
Nope. Exactly.
Never dress right. I should. I just hate carrying it every time. You know those guys warming up down here, right? 33, I think 23 or something like that.
33 probably. Well, this is interesting. Weston Walls is just now appearing out of the Moose Jaw dugout and slowly making his way towards the pitching mound to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Now he'll break into a trot as he crosses the foul line. Meanwhile, down the left field line, Moose Jaw product Nathan Pizzio is warming up. Pizzio is their closer. Eric Marriott might try to get away with just using 2 pitchers tonight. The starter Walls and the closer Pizzio, who has 6 saves during the regular season. He also won 3 times in 18 games, but he's only warming up. Walls has thrown 104 pitches. He's going to face the heart of the Barrie's order here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Second baseman Abia Medina, third baseman Mason Rell, and shortstop Nathan Houston. 6-3 Moose Jaw. Darkness has fallen here. Partly cloudy skies, 21 degrees Celsius. That east-southeast breeze at 4 kilometers per hour. Almost a perfectly still evening and a great night for playoff baseball. Medina 2 for 3, a couple of singles and a run scored. Swings and fouls the first pitch back off the catcher Rivas for strike 1. During the regular season, Medina was 10 for 32 or .313 against Moose Jaw head-to-head with 6 RBI. Takes a strike and behind 0-2. And the home plate umpires behind in the diamond section are disagreeing. 2-strike pitch, hit on the ground. Big hop off Thomas Soto. Soto picks it up, throws not in time. That hop came up and hit him in the left shoulder. And they discuss it. They're going to be calling this a base hit. Medina's 3rd of the game. Barrie's 7th of the night as a team. They hadn't had a hit since the 3rd inning. They've had runners on base, an error in the 4th, a walk in the 5th, a hit batsman in the 6th. This is a leadoff single to bring Mason Rell up. Rell looked for a bunt, trying to catch him by surprise, and missed it completely. Strike 1. Mason Rell is 1 for 3 tonight, singled and scored a run back in the 3rd inning. During the regular season against Moose Jaw, he was 9 for 28 or .321. Another strike poured in by Weston Walls. Rell had a home run and 9 RBI head-to-head against Moose Jaw this season. Walls has done an effective job of silencing the Berries bats. Fouled off at the plate. And the count holds at 2 strikes. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck for Saskatoon. Walls delivers with a slide step and throws it past everybody to the backstop, and that allows Medina to move over to second base on a wild pitch. Your official attendance tonight for Game 1 is 1,858. Nice sized crowd on a Wednesday evening to start the playoffs as catcher Andy Rivas out to speak with Weston Walls. Nathan Pizzio continues to warm up down the left field line. Down the right field side, Noah McCombs is up and throwing for the Berries. Well, not really. He's standing on the bullpen mound and watching more so than anything else right now. A 1-2 pitch from Weston Walls to Mason Rell upcoming. Bounces away and back to the backstop again. Another wild pitch, and Medina's on third. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rell. Walls up over 110 pitches unofficially, 112 by my count. Might be winding down. 2-2 pitch upcoming. Hacked into the dirt in front of home plate. Good waste by Mason Rell as they finally touch the ball in foul territory, and back to third base goes Abia Medina, and Mason Rell carrying the bat with him up first base line will come back. Count holding at 2-2. Two count on Mason Rell, the cleanup hitter for the Berries and the third baseman. Weston Walls. Breaking pitch hit high in the air into left field. William Edwards settles under it, makes the catch. Medina tags. Here comes the throw home, and just in time, safe is Medina as that ball bounced on one hop to Andy Rivas, a swipe tag, and able to slide under it is Medina. A sacrifice fly to left field for Rell and an RBI to make it 6-4. 1 away now, and Nathan Houston, who's 0 for 2 tonight with a sacrifice. Right-handed hitting Houston. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Still got Nathan Pizzio warming up down the left field line for the Miller Express. Weston Walls. Breaking ball in for a strike. He's had some good bite on that curveball. Fastball hit back over top of the mound and off the glove of Wallachek into the outfield, but not too far. Houston is on an error to the second baseman, Ben Wallachek. That's the fifth. It's the 5th error of the night for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And now here comes Eric Marriott, the head coach. And I think that might be all for Walls. Indeed it is. Here comes Nathan Pizzio into the game. The tying run in Ethan Murdoch going to come to the plate. Walls with a very good 6 1/3 innings for Moose Jaw in Game 1 of this best-of-3 series, and now entrusting it to the bullpen to bail him out and to hang on. Walls surrenders 7 hits in 6 1/3 innings, has allowed 4 runs, and is responsible for the man on base. He struck out 4, walked 1, and hit a couple of batters. Weston Walls faces 32 batters and throws a large number of pitches. .117 unofficially. And now gives way to Nathan Pizzio. Again, a Moose Jaw product who attended Central Collegiate High School in Moose Jaw. And he has been a reliable high leverage late inning reliever, making 18 regular season appearances, 3 wins, 2 losses, 6 saves, a 3.28 earned run average. Pizzio pitched 24 2/3 innings in the regular season, allowed 21 hits, 11 runs, 9 of them earned, struck out 27 and walked 14. It's Nathan Pizzio's second year of pitching with Moose Jaw, although this is his first full year. He was an AP last year, getting into 1 game. His last appearance was back on Monday in Regina, a 9-4 Moose Jaw win. He threw an inning and a third, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, struck out 1, walked 1, but still got the save. He's faced the Berries a few times this season. The last time was July 7th here, when he took the loss and the Berries won 4-3, pitching an inning. 2 hits allowed, an earned run, struck out 1 and walked 2. He comes in with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning, and first pitch outside to Ethan Murdoch. Pizzio, as I'm being told correctly to identify or to pronounce. Oh, Pichot. Ah, all right. There you go. Pichot, not Pizzio, Pichot. My apologies. Down low, 2-0 the count to Ethan Murdoch, who's 0 for 2 with a walk his last time up. Six-foot, 190-pound right-hander into the ball game in place of Weston Walls. Tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. Up high with a fastball, 3-0. Pichot has also took the loss here in Saskatoon on July 2nd, an 8-7 Berries win when he threw an inning and 2/3. Gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, struck out 1, walked 1. As he takes a look at his shoe. Pitched at home as well against the Berries in an 8-5 Saskatoon win. And home plate umpire Phil McGee gesturing out somewhere, and I thought for a second we had a balk ball, but not the case. 3-0 pitch, down low, ball 4. Murdoch to first. Houston advances up to second, and it'll be Corey Waters coming to the plate. So Nathan Pichot has not helped himself out issuing a walk to the first batter he faces. Waters 1 for 3, single and an RBI back in the third inning. Breaking ball in for a strike. First strike thrown by Pichot in this appearance. More action down the left field line in the Moose Jaw bullpen now. One strike pitch on the inside corner for strike 2 on Waters. Had to get the binoculars out. Maddox Matejchuk is warming up down the left field line. In the dirt, blocked by Rivas, the catcher. 1-2 the count. That Matejchuk name from Dominion City, Manitoba, is a famous one in Moose Jaw for hockey. Denton Matejchuk played several years with Moose Jaw. As Waters hits a ball in the air to left field. William Edwards will make the catch, and that's 2 away. Denton Matejchuk now in the NHL with the Columbus Blue Jackets. 2 out, and they'll bring up Balin Sorensen. 1 for 2, and hit by a pitch back in the last inning. (6-4) Saskatoon trails Moose Jaw here in Game 1 of the best of 3 East Division semifinal. Pitch down low, ball 1 with a fastball. Left fielder Jalen Freeman on deck. Pichot comes set. Dancing around at second as Houston and a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 1-1. Two away, 1-1 count here in the bottom of the 7th. Pichot's pitch, breaking ball, and Sorensen holds up. Pitch down low. 2 balls and a strike. Two and 1 pitch in there for a strike. 2-2, 2 away. Deuce is Wild on the top line of the scoreboard at Next Gen Patch here at Cairns Field in Saskatoon. In the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-2 pitch. Sorensen swings and misses, strikes out. And that's the end of 7. The Berries get a run. On 1 hit, there was 1 Moose Jaw error and 2 runners left on base. After 7, Saskatoon trails Moose Jaw 6-4 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yep. Heading for the top of the 8th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, a 4th Saskatoon Berries pitcher coming on into the game to pitch for head coach Joe Carnahan. It'll be right-hander Noah McCombs replacing Zach Laird, who threw 2 pretty good innings for the Berries. McCombs from Olathe, Kansas, making his 13th, or made 12 appearances during the regular season out of the bullpen. 1 win, 1 loss, a 2.29 earned run average. McCombs pitched 15 and 2/3 innings, allowed 11 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned, struck out 11, and walked 4. Noah McCombs last appeared on August 1st in Regina. Pitched an inning and a third and gave up an earned run with a hit and a walk thrown in. He pitched in Moose Jaw on July 4th, pitched 2 innings, allowing a run on a hit. Struck out 3 as the Berries won 12-8 that night. That's the only time that Noah McCombs has faced the Moose Jaw Miller Express. It'll be Robert Estrada, the number 7 hitter. Then Pacey Phillips and Ben Wallachek to face McCombs. Here in the top of the 8th. McCombs coming off his freshman year at Hutchison Junior College. His first pitch to Estrada is a strike. Robert Estrada 2 for 3, a couple of runs scored, and a double. Also lined into a double play his last time up. Hits a line shot into left field between short and third, and it's a base hit. That was a hard hit ball by Estrada, 12th hit of the night for Moose Jaw. And up comes Pacey Phillips, who's 3 for 3. 2 runs scored, a couple of stolen bases for the Kerrobert Saskatchewan product. More action down the right field line. Clay Mixon is starting to throw for the Berries. As that pitch inside, Phillips started to show bunt and turned back away from it. Ball 1. I've had coaches tell me a long, long time ago, if you see a guy square to bunt, throw at him. As Phillips drops a bunt down, Rell with it, the throw on to first in time. That's a good sacrifice by Phillips to get Estrada to second base. 1 away, and it'll bring up the second baseman, Ben Wallachek, who was hit by a pitch his last time up. Sacrificed in the second inning, reached on an error and stole a base in the third inning. Wallachek ended the season on a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .450, 9 for 20, with a home run and 8 RBIs. That one bends him back, up and in, ball 1. Top of the order, Thomas Soto coming up after Wallachek. As Moose Jaw looks to get the run back, get some insurance. Down low, check swing Wallachek. They appeal and they give it a strike. Wallachek went too far in the eyes of the umpire, over just behind second base, or behind the pitcher. The first base umpire, Scott Mostaway. 1-1 the count with 1 away. Wallachek puts a charge into this one into center field, but not deep. Carter Beck will make the catch, and Beck gets it back into the infield as Estrada holds his ground. So 2 away, and Thomas Soto, who set the table and set the tone for this game in the first 2 innings with base hits and runs scored. His second hit in the second inning brought in 2 runs as well. Since then, he has struck out twice. But he's 2 for 4, but has been a big part of Moose Jaw jumping out ahead 5-1 at one point, and now trying to bring it on home as he swings and misses at the first pitch from McCombs, strike 1. One strike pitch. Soto on the ground. Knocked down by Menard, scrambling, trying to get it. Now, runner coming home, and Estrada is out by a mile. 2 out, 3 out. 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 Moose Jaw's third base coach thought that Menard, in struggling to get to the ball, and would try and make a play at first, but when he saw he had no play, he came home, and Estrada was committed to heading home, urged by the third base coach, and gets thrown out by a lot. No runs for Moose Jaw in the top of the 8th inning. 1 hit, 1 Barry's error, and 1 runner left on base. After 7.5, it's Moose Jaw 6, Saskatoon 4. You're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. That was an error on Menard, right? No? Single? Okay. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Keep looking at it going, it's too dark, or it's too light.
It's fine.
I can see his white pants. I see his gray pants.
Upon further review, actually, I just asked the official scorers and got clarification. The last play, Thomas Soto is given a single, not an error to Ethan Menard. So the top of the 8th saw no runs on 2 hits for Moose Jaw, no Barry's errors, 1 runner left on base. As Jalen Freeman, the number 9 hitter for Saskatoon, comes up against Nathan Pichot here to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss on the first pitch, strike 1. Top of the order for the Berries after Freeman with Carter Beck and Ethan Menard. Guaranteed to hit in this half inning. Pitch bounced in, ball 1. (6-4) Moose Jaw, top of the 8th, or bottom of the 8th, I'm sorry. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Freeman 1 for 3, singled in the 2nd inning. Reached on an error in the 4th and stole a base. One-two pitch, line drive, but this one's hanging up, and a catch made in center field by Pacey Phillips, who almost misjudged it and had to kind of fall forward to make the grab. 1 away. Carter Beck comes up 0 for 4. A fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. But he's had a strikeout, he's grounded out, and he's flied out. Pichot ready to deliver and bounces it in for a ball. New ball thrown into play by the home plate umpire, Phil McGee. We continue to have action down the left field line in the Moose Jaw bullpen. On the outside corner, strike 1 to Carter Beck. It's a different pitcher this time throwing in the Moose Jaw bullpen. Ethan Merck is now warming up, a right-hander from Regina. Beck cues off foul, that off-speed changeup from Pichot. It's 1-2. One away, 1-2 pitch to Beck. Fouled that off towards the first base coach's box. Hangs in there, staying alive as Pichot threw the fastball that time. Considerable difference in velocity between changeup and fastball. 1-2 the count. There's that changeup. It stays up high 2-2. So now what do you throw? Count's still really in your favor at 2-2. The breaking ball down low, full count. Do you go with the changeup or do you throw fastball? He throws fastball, and Beck hits a line drive, base hit into left field between the shortstop Soto and third baseman Alberg, and the Berries have a man on. And the tying run coming to the plate in the form of Ethan Menard. Menard 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. And here comes Dustin Mulliken, the pitching coach for the Miller Express, out to chat with Nathan Pichot. Ethan Merck warming up down the left field line. Is a latecomer to the team this year. Made a start out of 3 appearances. He's pitched 3 times against Regina in the last 2 weeks. So we'll see what Eric Marriott decides to do, but right now it's Nathan Pichot's game to try and do something about, as up comes Ethan Menard. Many in the crowd of 1,858 sticking around, looking for the comeback as Pichot's first pitch bounces in, blocked by catcher Andy Rivas, ball 1. Carter Beck had 13 stolen bases in 16 attempts during the regular season. 2 runs down. Do you go and try to get into scoring position, or do you wait, play station to station? Menard gets it by the third baseman Alberg into left field. A base hit. Beck stops up at second. 2 men on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the wheels are grinding in the Moose Jaw dugout. As far as head coach, I believe that's a base hit. I don't think it's an error. Yeah, it's a single. And here comes Eric Marriott, and that's going to be it for Nathan Pichot. We're going to get a pitching change. 2 men on, Abiam Medina coming up, and Ethan Merck is going to come into a big situation here for the Moose Jaw Miller Express in Game 1 of the Best of 3 East Division semifinal with his team up by 2. Merck, as I mentioned, 3 appearances, all against Regina in the last 2 weeks of the regular season. One of them was a start. No decisions, a 1.35 earned run average, which is pretty darn good. 6 2/3 innings pitched, allowed just 4 hits, 1 run earned, struck out 5, walked 1. Ethan Merck is from Regina, as mentioned, coming off his sophomore year at Duane University. 6'1", 180-pound right-hander. So a big situation here for the Moose Jaw Miller Express and Ethan Merck. As Pichot comes on, pitches an inning plus in relief. Pichot allowed 2 hits. He struck out 1 and walked 1. And faced 6 batters. And through, let's see, through 26 pitches unofficially. So Ethan Merck coming on. Merck will face Abiam Medina with 1 away. Mason Rell on deck. here in the bottom of the 8th. 6-4 Moose Jaw with the lead. Left-handed hitting, Abia Medina, who has 3 hits and 4 at-bats and a couple of runs scored. Weston Walls started and pitched 6 1/3 innings and gave Moose Jaw everything he could as their ace. Now it's up to the bullpen. Merck's first pitch. This one's lifted over top of third base. Thomas Soto can't make the catch. It's a fair ball, and everybody will advance. Third base or home plate umpire Phil McGee made the call down the line. Moose Jaw coaching staff saying they thought it was foul, and it was pretty close, but it's an error on the shortstop, Thomas Soto. Beck at third, Menard into second. Medina on first, and Mason to the plate now. Hit a sacrifice fly his last time up. Evan Janner coming into the ball game now to run for Ethan Menard, representing the time run in this game. That was Merck's first pitch in Medina. Lifts a little looper down the left field line that Thomas Soto got to, but didn't squeeze. Now the first pitch to Mason Rell is a called strike. Rell, who hit the grand slam home run in game 54, that gave the Berries the record 45th win